caused me so much mental stress. I have learned a lot. Would have saved so much time. Hey Queen, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. So nice to have you here. I'm Heini, I'm a female wellness coach and occasional bodybuilder who is documenting her journey over here and sharing no BS info because I've just frankly had enough of all the misinformation that's out there on social media. And today we are going to be talking about 19 things that I wish I would have known before I started my fitness journey, because your girl's been lifting for literally 9 years and I have learned a lot. And I wish I would have known these things because it would have literally minimized the time that I had to spend figuring things out for myself in the beginning of my journey, and I would be a lot further ahead. And given that it's early February by the time you see this video, I know that you probably just got into the gym, you just restarted or started your journey, so I thought it would be the perfect time to share some of the most important things that I wish I would have known that I've learned the hard way because I just didn't have the right amount of knowledge. And your girl came prepared. I came prepared with a long list of 19 things. Please ignore this. This is exactly why I can't have nice things. But I wrote a list to make sure that I don't miss anything out. So with that, let's get straight into today's video. First things first, something that I wish I would have known before I got into my fitness journey and into the gym is that what works for someone will not work for you. This is a really hard pill to swallow, but given that there are so many influencers out there sharing their workouts, first of all, most of these workouts are actually staged, so they don't actually do these workouts to get the results. Second of all, they have a very, very different body type from you. So it is super, super important if you're starting your fitness journey or if you've already started your fitness journey to, instead of copying someone else's workout plan or someone else's diet, to basically focus on what works for you. Look at what you're already doing and elevate it. How can you make sure that you are going to enjoy the whole journey? Because Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok has a lot of information out there. So just keep that in mind whenever you look at someone else's progress, that what they are doing for themselves is probably not going to work for you. Number two, that I wish I would have known and would have saved so much time for me in the beginning of my journey, is that bodyweight workouts can only do so much for you. Bodyweight workouts are an absolutely amazing way for you to get started on your journey, but there's only so much that you can do with your body weight, because when it comes to your actual progress, what it's going to come down to is you getting stronger. If you just want to exercise, if you just want to improve your health a little bit, but you don't want to change how your body looks or change your body composition, then bodyweight workouts are going to be absolutely amazing. But when it comes to you wanting to see results and tone up and look and feel your absolute best, you really need to look at going to the gym or lifting weights, because when it comes to seeing progress, especially when it comes to quote unquote toning up, you need to build muscle for that, and for that your body weight is just not going to be enough. Number three, progressive overload is the key. It's super, super important that you progressively overload your lifts. That is how muscle is stronger. And what this means is basically increasing your training volume. Now, under training volume, for the girlies who don't know what it basically is your reps, the amount of sets that you do, the amount of weight that you lift, the workout frequency, so how often you work out in a week, your form. It also counts towards your tempo during your set. But basically, when it comes to us seeing results and building lean muscle that is going to make us toned, we need to focus on progressive overload. Now, the easiest way to go about this is literally just to track your reps and track the amount of weight that you are doing every single week along with the sets. That is where I would start at first. Let's say you're doing 3 sets of leg presses one week and you are doing 10 reps at 100 kgs. Next week, try to increase those 10 reps to maybe 11 reps or add in 5 kgs to your lift. Basically, over time, the goal is going to be to slow down your reps so you can have more control over your muscles, to make sure that you're constantly getting stronger so you can build those lean muscles. Number 4, and this is something that I wish I would have known even back when I was an aerobics gymnast, when I was constantly told to lose weight to quote unquote jump higher. I absolutely don't know why I was told this, honestly, especially at the age of 13. Is that cardio isn't the driver for weight loss. No matter how much cardio you do, no matter how much you exercise, if you overeat in calories, you're still not going to be able to lose weight. It's not going to help you tone up, okay? So cardio is not there for us to lose weight. The primary source of your calorie deficit and the primary source of where your weight loss is going to come from is lowering down the amount of overall calories that you eat, and the cardio that you do is just going to be a little supplement. And talking about weight loss and calorie deficit, Number 5, the actual diet doesn't matter if you are not in a calorie deficit. And this is a little disclaimer for every single one of you who is out there doing keto or low carb or cutting out certain food. You do not have to do that. If you are wanting to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. It doesn't matter where that calorie deficit comes from. The two most important things when it comes to you losing weight and getting into shape are going to be being in a calorie deficit, eating a variety of foods and eating mostly whole and minimally processed foods, and then also focusing on your protein intake, which is actually going to be a game changer if you eat more protein. It's going to keep you more satiated, it's going to help you grow lean muscle, recover from your workouts, and balance your hormones. So make sure that you're tracking your meals instead of starting yet another new diet. Which takes us on to number 6, which is that calorie calculators do not work. If you're trying to find your maintenance calories, your calories that you need to eat in order to gain lean muscle, to go into a calorie surplus, or go into a calorie deficit, instead of using a calorie calculator, I would approach it in a very different way, because even though calorie calculators are absolutely amazing to give you some guidance on like what to test out, it's not going to be the end all be all. So instead of following any sort of like calculations, look at what you're eating right now, track your meals for literally 7 days consistently. Every single thing that you put in your mouth, you track it and see where you're starting from. That is going to give you a more realistic overview of where you're starting from, rather than you just like putting in random numbers into a calculator, getting a random number through an equation that doesn't take into account your body composition, your hormonal health, your dieting history, and so much more. And this is exactly why, you know, when my clients come to me and when I work with clients, we do a full nutritional exploratory phase in the beginning in our align phase of our coaching, because we go through a 4-phase coaching process. But we basically do throughout the align phase of their training a full nutritional exploratory week where they literally just track their foods, so then we can set more personalized targets for them that are going to help them drop weight or gain more lean muscle or gain body mass depending on their goals. Now, we've obviously already covered that when it comes to your whether you gain or lose weight, it's going to depend on how many calories you eat. But when it comes to how you look, it actually is going to depend on a little bit more things. There is a massive difference between losing weight and losing body fat, and especially when it comes to us wanting to look more sculpted and toned, we need to make sure that we focus not on weight loss, but on body fat loss. When it comes to weight loss, it basically is all about just you trying to drop weight and see the scale weight drop. However, when it comes to fat loss, we want to prompt the body to basically lose that weight from body fat, and for that we need to tell our body to maintain our lean muscle or build more lean muscle, and we need to make sure that we are fueling accordingly in a sustainable calorie deficit. So if you're trying to get toned, do not focus on weight loss, rather on fat loss. You also need to make sure that you're not confusing your muscles when it comes to your workouts. The best results will always come from you following the same workouts for at least 12 to 16 weeks, if not longer, to make sure that you can progressively overload your lifts over time, which basically is going to signal to you that you are gaining lean muscle. So if you want to see actual progress in how your body looks, in your body composition, you need to do the same workouts. Your muscles need time under tension, and that time under tension needs to increase, right? So either the time that it spends under tension or the tension that it spends time under needs to increase over time. So please, if you want to tone up, do not switch up your workouts. You need to make it repetitive. And I know that it sounds super boring, but rinsing and repeating the things that work for you and the exercises that you connect well with for a long time is going to get you better results than if you constantly just swapped it out just because you felt like it and you felt a little bit bored. And then that takes us into number 9, which is a very common misconception that when it comes to your workouts, you have to be sore after or you have to sweat. Neither of these means that you're progressing. What means that you're progressing is literally logging your weights and getting stronger every single week, or doing one more rep every single week on certain exercises. Not all of them, just most exercises. Sweating is literally just your body trying to cool itself down, because when you're exercising, your body heat increases a little bit, and soreness basically mostly happens when you are introducing a new exercise into your routine, or you're doing something new that your body doesn't like, because your body doesn't like change, okay? Your body doesn't like being taken outside of its comfort zone, so it's going to signal to you by making you sore that, hey, maybe this is not what we want to do. But the good thing is that if you can keep training and continue doing the same movements, the same exercises, the same workouts over time, looking to get just a little bit stronger every single week, that soreness is going to subside. And then soreness might reappear whenever you're introducing a new exercise that your body, again, isn't used to, because it's going to be like, hey, this is new. I don't like this, right? And talking about workouts, because we have been talking about workouts quite a bit, this is something that I made as a mistake when I was back in the days, like at university. I spent hours in the gym, but the reality is that you do not need to spend hours in the gym in order to see results. You do not need to spend more than 60 to 90 minutes in the gym in order for you to see progress. So instead of wasting your time in the gym, choose 1 to 2 compound exercises that are multi-joint exercises like squats and deadlifts or bench. Then choose 1 single arm or single leg exercise, depending on whether you're training upper body or lower body. And then 1 to 2 isolation exercises that only train 1 muscle group by moving 1 joint. That is the most efficient way that you can put together a workout plan that is going to be super efficient for you and that you can do with intensity. And talking about training intensity, we need to establish one thing. When it comes to your workouts, it's going to burn, okay? So that is exactly why I put down as the 11th thing that I wish I would have known, but before I started my fitness journey, that you need to push past the burn. Your muscles are gonna burn because of a buildup of lactic acid, but just because it burns, just because it trembles, it doesn't mean that it isn't working. You need to learn over time, gradually increasing the intensity of your workouts, how to push yourself as close to mechanical failure as possible. And what I mean under mechanical failure is that you're not just pushing until it burns or until you get bored of the exercise, but until you cannot physically do more reps with good form with the same weight within that set. Building muscle to look more toned is going to be hard work, but if you do the hard work in the gym and if you lift those heavy weights, first of all, your life is going to be a lot easier later down the line. Second of all, everything else outside of the gym is going to feel so much easier because you've already pushed yourself super hard within the gym. The 12th thing that I wish I would have known before I started my journey is that adding more weight does not mean progress, especially if you do not feel it in the right muscles. I can hip thrust 6 plates each side, okay? I can hip thrust that. But does that mean that I'm going to hip thrust it all the time? No. The reason being is because if I do 6 plates per side and I do them consistently without feeling it in my glutes, by feeling it in my lower back, I'm going to start feeling it in my quads and my hamstrings. I'm not going to be training my glutes. When the hip thrust is a glute exercise, prioritize feeling it in the right muscle that is creating the movement instead of just going through the movement and lifting a shitload of weights. Because if you truly want to change your body composition and truly want to tone up, you need to make sure that you're feeling it in the right muscle. And because we've been talking about training intensity quite a bit, I need to mention here that training harder and training more times and every single day during the week is not going to be your best friend if you want true results. You need rest days, at least 2 to 3 rest days per week. When it comes to your actual workouts, that is not where the hard work happens, okay? Yes, it is hard to go through your workouts, but the actual work that happens within your body, the changes that happen within your body happen when you are resting and recovering. When you're lifting weights, you're constantly tearing your muscle fibers apart. So when are you going to recover if you're not going to rest, right? If you constantly keep tearing those muscle fibers apart without it actually having a chance to recover and rebuild itself and build even more and stronger muscle fibers, then you're basically going to be overtraining and you might risk injuring yourself or developing like really, really bad conditions. So make sure that you're resting. And take this very seriously, okay? Just because you're working harder doesn't mean that you're going to get better results. And resting is actually not a bad thing. Resting and recovering and taking sometimes time off, like maybe lightening the load every like 6 to 8 weeks when it comes to your lifts, taking a couple of days off from the gym is not going to make you fail, okay? At the end of the day, what we need to progress is 80% consistency. And this is something I wish I would have known because it caused me so much mental stress. I would highly urge you to focus on just being at least 80% consistency. If anything happens on top of that, absolutely amazing. But if it doesn't happen every single time, give yourself some grace, okay? You are not a robot and you have to understand that your body is not a robot. It needs some mental space, it needs some physical space to relax and recover. So make sure that you have not just rest days, but also you have days when you are allowing yourself to relax a little bit more mentally and physically, okay? And we're gonna shift gears a tiny little bit now because when it comes to my fitness journey, I started basically wanting to lose weight because I've always struggled with not looking toned. But here's the thing that I had had to realize, and I wish someone would have told me this before, your weight when it comes to your fitness journey, when it comes to your weight loss journey or your fat loss journey, is not going to be the best indicator for you to track your progress with, okay? If you're in your luteal phase or just have your period, your weight might spike a little bit. If you have eaten a little bit more carbs the day before, your weight might spike a little bit because of water retention. If you are more hydrated or you haven't gone to do your number 2 in the morning, you know, you might have a little bit higher of a weight, and that is totally okay. And this is something that I always tell my clients, like, let's put our scientist hat on and literally measure just trends in our data, and not just one data point, but several data points. So how about you start measuring other things outside of your weight too, like measurements, waist measurements, glute measurements, bicep measurements, or maybe start taking progress pictures every week or every other week, or energy and health indicators like how your menstrual cycle is. These things all together are going to give you a full picture of you, because you are so much more than your weight, right? And talking about indicators and losing weight and your weight not being the most important measurement in your life, under number 16, I put down that fast weight loss never lasts. And I'm talking to you girlies who are trying to eat 1,200 calories and quit carbs, etc., etc. I was you, okay? I tried out all kinds of Pinterest diets, all kinds of Instagram workouts. They might have made me lose weight very fast, but did they make me happy? Was I able to keep that weight off? Like, trust me, they didn't. I regained it and I regained more. So when it comes to your weight loss specifically, aim to lose no more than half a kg to a kg per week. And then afterwards, another super, super important reminder that I wish someone would have told me about is that reverse dieting after your actual calorie deficit is going to be the thing and the key that is going to help you keep that weight off. After you have done your diet, you cannot just go back to eating like regular. You have to make sure that you reverse diet so that your body can get used to a higher amount of food again at a leaner body composition. Because when you're dieting and you're trying to lose weight, you're basically slowing down your metabolism as you're in a calorie deficit. The longer you are in a calorie deficit, the more likely your body is going to be to get used to that amount of calories. So it's super important that we slowly reverse that and boost your metabolism again after your dieting phase. Number 18, I put down that I wish I would have known is that your goals are not as important as your habits. Your goals are never going to happen without you focusing on your habits. So instead of obsessing over how far away you are from your goals, focus on obsessing over your habits and being consistent with your habits at least 80% of the time. So ask yourself, what do I need to do in order to lose weight? I need to be in a calorie deficit. I need to eat enough protein to make sure that that weight comes off from body fat. I need to make sure that I'm lifting heavy, that I'm taking care of myself, that I'm drinking my water, that I'm literally taking care of myself, and I'm showing up as the person who already has my goals. Yes, you might be able to follow a plan for a certain time, but afterwards, what happens? Are you just going to ditch those results and ditch doing the things that you needed to get there and go back to being your old self and then regain the weight? Like, it's super important that you obsess over your habits. And if you don't know this, and this brings us to our 19th point, our 19th thing that I wish someone would have told me and I would have known before, is that if you don't know how to do this on your own, and if you feel like you're going to fall off track, there is no shame in asking for help. There is no shame in investing in yourself. There's no shame in going to the professionals. Just think of it this way. If your car broke down on the side of the motorway, would you try to fix it for yourself, or would you call AAA? You would probably call AAA. If you had a broken leg, would you try to heal it yourself, or would you go to hospital to get it put in a cast? The same thing applies to your fitness journey and to your goals. If you do not know what you are doing, stop trying to figure it out on your own, because you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel confused. And I'm here talking from experience, because for the first couple of years before I even started my fitness journey, for 3 years, I literally read papers. I read almost as much material on fitness, on nutrition as a university degree in order to just start my fitness journey, and still I made so many mistakes down the line. I wish I would have invested in a coach who was qualified and who understood me and who really truly cared. If you're ever considering investing into someone and investing in working into someone, don't just look at the results that they are providing. Don't just look at, how they look personally, but look at what their values are as a coach. And this is something that I'm so specific about, and I feel so strongly about, because I see so many women and so many of my clients come to me after having worked with a big name coach who has the most amazing Instagram feed and who looks absolutely amazing, but they come to me telling me, hey, actually, like, I didn't feel like anyone cared about me. I said some things and my coach didn't listen. I had some dietary restrictions and my coach didn't cater for it. So it's super important that you work with someone who actually wants to help you and who wants to get you results that last, so that you can understand your body better and create a better life for yourself while getting lasting results. And I'm going to do a shameless plug here, because this is exactly why I do what I do. I genuinely care about every single one of my clients, and I genuinely care about them getting results and understanding why those results happen. So if you are an ambitious woman who wants to balance work, social life, fun, and wellness/self-care, make sure that you head over to the description below, because I'll leave my application link below, where you can apply to work with me one-on-one. I only work with a small handful of women who we feel like we are vibing, we're a good fit with. I'm still going to give you a full action plan, even if you book in a call with me and we decide that it's not for you. You're going to walk away with a full action plan that you can get started on your own. If you're interested, head over to the description below and apply to work with me one-on-one. And if you would rather do this on your own, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because I will be uploading more sort of like educational videos on here every single month, alongside documenting my journey on my fat loss phase. So make sure that you click subscribe, hit the notification bell, like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment something nice below for the girlies, or if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. But with that, I'm going to go and wrap this up here. Have an absolutely amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you next week.